And we should be live. Alrighty. So, we're playing Dark Souls again. I'm very sorry I didn't quite have the time to set up a stream. I'm still eating dinner. Grilled cheese and tomato soup, if anyone was curious.
The best.
So, I am not by myself yet again. I am here today with... Well, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Oh, hey guys. I'm Adnan. I'm a bearded male. That's me. I'm a video game enthusiast, movie enthusiast, budding political individual. I never was very good at describing who I was, but...
Well, I mean, there's stuff that you do online, right? Is there anything you want to plug?
Well, I just finished my first comic book. The first issue, it's called Horserer. It's about a horse sorcerer who brews a beer that anyone that drinks it dies in a horrific way and becomes a disgusting flesh golem in his underworld army to take over the weed fields of the T-Rexecutioner. It's equally as stupid as it sounds, and I love making it. It's kind of like not a horror buff, but I love horror, and so me and my best friend just decided we wanted to make the most disgusting, dumb B-movie punny comic we could, and so here we are. Other than that, I try to do right now more online activism. So one of the things that I did recently was I did an LGBTQIA plus Thanksgiving server for anyone really, but specifically targeted towards them, for people that didn't feel comfortable around their families or didn't have the ability to get home. And so that was kind of a cool thing that we did. Yeah.
Vague hope. The controller is working. Just a sec. There we go. Yep. Controller's working. I will not be reduced to the level of a mere plebeian playing this game.
If you didn't know, you're also doubling the stream as a mukbang video.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
Oh my god, it's this YouTube phenomenon where people... It's kind of like ASMR, but like fetishy and weird, from what I understand. Not king shaming, but people just watching videos of other people eating. And they're usually like these fantastical feasts of like octopus legs and like crazy stuff.
That is peculiar.
But so you may gain a new following.
I hope not. That is not the kind of following that I would want. Not kink shaming. But I want people who are going to be politically active. I'm trying to incentivize political activity. So, Adnan.
Yes.
The most important question I can ask you regarding this stream.
Yes.
Have you played Super Mario Brothers?
Yeah.
No, wait. Dark Souls is what I meant.
Yes, I have. I bought it on day one, actually.
Day one, when it came out for the PS3?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
and
my.
Demon Souls day one when that came out.
So, were you a fan, or did you just hear good things about it?
Well, I actually played. I think we were talking about this a little the other day, but basically the Souls-like series of games, which is not what they were called at the time, have existed since the mid '90s. From Software did the Kingsfield series, which was and I know the difficulty thing is something that we'll talk about later, but a hyper difficult dungeon crawler. Then they moved on to the PS2 games, which were Eternal Ring and Evergrace, that were sort of the building blocks for what became Demon Souls. And Evergrace and Eternal Ring are not particularly good games, but they're a blast to play. And so coming from that and hearing that From Software was coming out with Demon Souls, I just was already on the bandwagon.
I did play a little bit of Evergrace. I couldn't understand what was going on, so
It was incredibly obtuse.
right now we're just waiting for the chat to fill in a little bit.
Sure.
We're gonna wait for maybe 5 more minutes to start up.
One of the things that always cracked you up about Evergrace is, if I recall, the game literally spawns you like in a very nondescript little area and more or less says, figure it out, stupid. So you just have to kind of
More
walk
or less.
around and, yeah.
I kept getting killed by bees, if I recall correctly.
Yes, the bees. Incredibly fearsome bees. There was a kind of a glitch where if you killed those bees a certain number of times, after that, it would always drop this item that would increase any stat of your choosing. And so you could just, if you had the patience for it, walk in and out of the area and just farm that. Armored Core rules. And that was my original intro to From Software.
Yes. I have Armored Core 3 over there, and Armored Core 5 over there somewhere. That's one of the reasons I want to get my PS3 up and running again and get a capture card, is so I can get I can stream Armored Core 5. It's just a blast.
You know, I don't know if the technology's there yet, but I think you can do with the PS2 emulator, you can do peer-to-peer multiplayer, and we could get Armored Core Silent Line, and we could PvP. The Minecraft bees say trans rights.
Yeah, I bet Notch didn't like that.
Almost certainly not.
Fun story. I have never played Minecraft. That means I know what that means. I know that means I'm not a real gamer. And I can live with that. That means I will not die a gamer.
All of your opinions are invalid because no Minecraft experience. It's very, like, I always liked it. I never got into it in the way that people did, but I always loved it because I loved Legos, and it was just really reminiscent of that.
I have a box, several boxes actually, with about 45 pounds of Legos. One of these days I'm going to get them out and do some interesting things with them on stream.
Oh, that would be a blast. That'd be a blast to watch.
No, it wouldn't. It would be incredibly boring.
I don't think so. I think that could actually be really cool. Yeah, Notch definitely did lean into the Fash thing, and then became weird friends with William Shatner, who both really like Death Grips. Like, I don't know what that's about. But yeah, Minecraft was a really good community experience when it was. It was really bad when it wasn't. But I had mostly great experiences with it.
All right. It's about time we get started. And quick refresher for anyone watching. I am at the Undead Burg. We just killed the Taurus demon. And met Solaire. And I'm going to talk for a little bit about my opinions about Solaire.
Ooh.
So, the thing that a lot of people don't quite understand about Solaire is that Solaire is not very strong. Oh yeah, I must have gotten the rapier at some point. Solaire is not a strong character. He's not a very strong undead. Like, he doesn't decide to help you because you need his help. He decides to help you because he needs your help. And you see this is a mechanical thing. You see this in the mechanics. Like, you have exceptionally strong undead, like Black Iron Tarkus. Black Iron Tarkus can take the boss, the Iron Golem, one-on-one in a fight. Not only can Solar not solo anything, but and the witch can solo the Moonlight Butterfly.
Isn't that boss? Isn't that the ceaseless discharge?
Yes, they do. What about the ceaseless discharge?
No, isn't that boss?
No, the Moonlight Butterfly.
Oh, that's actually what it's called.
Yeah, no, the ceaseless discharge is something else.
Oh, my bad.
No, the ceaseless discharge is the huge, gigantic thing that you fight in the crap. In the area right after the Quillag's sister, where you find her. You know, the lava-covered area?
Yeah.
I can't specifically recall the name of it at the moment. I'm gonna smoke some Estus. I know. I said it would be an Estus-less run, but we all knew that was going to be a lie.
Oh, I was never good at that.
I spent hours and hours parrying the Silver Knights in Orlando.
Mm.
And I am still only mediocre at it.
There you go.
Anyway, Solaire isn't strong. He seeks out your help because he needs help. But, there's no reason to look down on him for that. That's what people should do. That's an appropriate course of action. And the game frames Solaire as admirable for doing this, which is interesting, I think. Okay, so on a lark, I went to another one of my games, and I tried to figure out what I should do, what kind of build I wanted. I usually go for a dex build. Actually, hold on. I don't like that. Yes, I'm a filthy dex player. Depression and alienation go hand in... I am going to... just a sec. I am going to show that on screen. Depression and alienation go hand in hand, and fascists exploit depressed cishet men online to recruit fascists. Two things. One, not just cishet men. There are a lot more trans people and LGBT people in general in the fascist movement than you would think. And two, yes, fascists do actively seek out mentally ill people to recruit into their movement. That is absolutely a thing that they do. And it is shameful. But on the other hand, I think it's worth noting that either a lot of the people that do that are either, oh yeah, by the way, we're going back to the graveyard. Now that I have a controller, I can actually fight these things a little bit. Okay, you know what? Hold on. I need to get that mace. No, I don't. Yes, I do. Well, the thing is that the mace stuns them.
I don't think I knew that.
Oh, man. Okay, they're gone. Oh, they're not gone. Like... And they died.
Oof.
Unfortunately. But yeah, it's been a known fact for a while that the fascists are actively seeking out people who are suffering from various mental illnesses, not just depression. Part of that is because, you know, you need to be at least a little bit mentally unstable to be a fascist, in my opinion. Or not even opinion, in my experience. I've known quite a few fascists in my time. Story for another day. But also because a lot of the people who are drawn to fascism, or a lot of people who are in the fascist movement right now, well, mentally ill people will seek out other mentally ill people. And I already raided this entire area. That means I already have the mace. Nice. Alright. Let's beat some bones. Bone beat.
Oh, here we go. I'm excited to see how it stuns them. Oh!
Ah, crap. That's never happened to me before.
There you go.
I mean, it's a morning star. That's what you do with it.
Oh, Vague Hope says there's a 20-second delay between what you do and when a live viewer sees it. He says there's nothing that can be done. It's just streaming stuff.
That's fair.
Lonely people unhappy with their life. Fascism provides false explanations and false answers and a kind of sense of identity and belonging and pride, even though it's rooted in BS and hatred. I think that that's an excellent point. And think about if you are this sort of powerless, helpless person. I don't want to say helpless. A person that feels that they're lacking in power and they already have some of these ideas kind of baked into their being. And I can speak that from experience. It's so appealing to have that constant reassurance of yes, we're better than them, we're better than everyone else. It's incredibly appealing in your darkest and loneliest times.
I never had that problem. Because I was never told that I was special. Well, I mean, I was, just not in a good way.
Oof.
Yep. I have some paperwork, like 20 feet over there, that says that in 5th grade I had an IQ of 63.
I never would have. I mean, I didn't know you in 5th grade, but not only is IQ kind of suspect, but I don't know how they would get that.
In hindsight, I do, but it's just something that I like bringing up from time to time. It amuses me.
Sure. I'm pretty sure. I want to say in middle school, I was probably on an at-risk list. I remember anytime I had an original thought, this really nice lady would take me into the storage room, and I would get to have Coke and cookies.
Anytime you had an original thought, that's super depressing.
Well, I put on Twitter
in the 90s was bad.
Well, on Twitter, I was talking about, I wrote this basically Final Fantasy VII fan fiction about basically comparing the government to Shinra, like it was, and how Avalanche, the eco-terrorists, were the only people that could save it. Really, it was just Final Fantasy VII fan fiction, but they took it as some sort of violent power fantasy that I had written.
You know what? Almost the same thing happened to me. When I was like 6, yeah. Not 6, when I was like 9. Except it wasn't like, it wasn't a Final Fantasy VII fanfic. It was like, I think it was an X-Files fanfic because my dad watched X-Files and I just watched what my dad watched.
I was terrified of X-Files when I was a kid. I would hear the theme song and I would start tearing up. My mom played a really cruel trick on me when I was younger, where she had to get these like X-ray scans, and she had this necklace. When you get the scan, you put your necklace on your forehead so they can scan your chest area with no obstruction. And I asked my mom what it was, and I was young, and she said it was her alien implant. And my reaction to it was not very good. And so she turned into the skid, and she said, "Well, why are you crying? You're an alien too." And so I had just this, I mean, months and months of waking up with night terrors and like vomiting and screaming and pissing the bed until my mom finally took me to a therapist. She's like, "I don't know what to do with them. Like, this is what's happening." So after, maybe a month of talking to the therapist, he basically pulls her in the room with me and is like, "You did this. Like, your son hears the X-Files theme song and projectile vomits and hides under blankets. Like, you did this to him." And thinking back on it, it's maybe not such a funny story, but I think it's kind of funny.
Oh no, that's hilarious. Oh dear. I need to get out of here.
Oof.
Ah, crap.
Oh, geez, you made the big guy.
Masterful dodge.
Yeah.
That was masterful. I barely even saw that. No! Ooh. That was not a masterful dodge. That was the worst.
My lord.
Neither of those were artful dodges either. But I got what I came for.
So let's see what they got. We're talking about IQ in the chat.
River Ransom, hello. Alana Morento, hello, good to see you. I hope you like Dark Souls, because that's what we're playing. I got what I came for. The Winged Spear. This is a great dex weapon. This will kill the fuck out of anything that we encounter for the first, let's say, until we hit the until we hit Enarlando-ish. One hit. Huzzah. Sword couldn't do that.
I keep losing the live comments. I'm trying to follow them. There we go.
Manufactured consent, yeah. Okay, I'm going to interrupt my gaming for a little while and pull up a couple of comments here. Vague Hope says that IQ means nothing. It is just a way for them to assess how much value extraction they can obtain. I agree with that in principle, and not like exactly, but that's mechanically what it's for. River Ransom says IQ is more an indication of class as a locator. Also very true. My family was very poor, like just generations and generations of very poor people. Alana Montero said, Alana Montero, am I pronouncing that right? It elaborated on their comment about fascism. I think that's what that says. It is to get you to see that exploitation as normal and good. And Fake Hope said it's manufactured consent. All of these things are true. Ransom mentioned woke fanfiction. No, it was not. It was not woke. I was not old enough to be woke yet.
On as a quick aside on the I have to mute the. Okay, there we go. And if you don't conform to the program, then you're bad. I saw, and then Alana Montero. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. You get to see that exploitation is good and normal and good. And I was thinking about this the other day. The fact that we have poverty porn where children go out and sell lemonade and stuff to pay for their mother's cancer treatments and this kind of thing, and everybody likes to praise the children and good job on the kid for taking initiative, but at the same time, why are we fetishizing the idea that that's the path to success or any semblance of wealth or normalization?
I thought poverty porn was stuff like Jerry Springer. Oh dear.
I think that's
rat just fell through.
I just saw that.
I thought poverty porn was stuff like Jerry Springer and Dr. Phil.
I think that's just straight up exploitation.
That crap. I forgot my souls. I'm gonna run back and get them and see if I can level up. See how much strength I need to wield this spear one-handed. So I can parry. I'm going to use it mostly one-handed, but I'm gonna need to parry some things.
Oh yeah, I know at least. I know probably a dozen people that have had GoFundMe's, and the thing. I don't have any aside for that. That's just fucked up. One of my friends had one for insulin. Like, I know that that's a big talking point right now, but then like to see it, I believed it, but to see it actively, like with somebody that you know and love, is you can't imagine it could be any more devastating. And then you're like, oh my God.
And it's going around everywhere. What is it? Something like 70% of the things on GoFundMe are for medical debt nowadays.
That would not surprise me whatsoever. You hate to see it, folks.
No, when I think of poverty porn, I think of specifically this weird parody of Dr. Phil I saw one time, where like 3 different people all had problems. They stopped drinking wine and respectively started drinking. I think it was like one of them was cocaine, one of them was heroin, and one of them was laundry detergent. Be like that then. Yeah, I'm gonna hide behind the shield like a coward.
Shoot, at that point, the damage you were doing, I would just hit their shield to death.
We're gonna get to the spawn fine. I'm gonna take another look at the comments, so hang tight, hang tight.
I opened up the YouTube page to get kind of in ahead on it.
Alrighty. Let's see what kind of comments we have here. Alana Montero says, yes, that's the correct pronunciation, except it's a little bit angelicized. So, good to know. Reuben Fuller Bennett says, those feel-good stories are the most insidious poison. Hello, and welcome to the stream. I'm Ron. This is Draco, my streaming buddy, and streaming with me today is Adnan. Who, introduce yourself again. I have to do a thing real quick.
Oh, you did the whole thing?
Oh, well, as much as you feel comfortable.
Oh, sure, yeah. So, I'm Adnan. I'm a comic book writer.
Damn it, that's not... Do that. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
My Discord was on stream for a second.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm Adnan. I'm a comic book writer. I just got done with my first comic. That's going to print at the end of January, so that's really exciting. Budding anarcho-leftist, kind of new to the ideology and learning a lot. And I do some online activist work, and I'm working to move into the real world. One of the things that I did recently was I had an LGBTQIA plus Thanksgiving Discord server where we got everyone together that didn't feel comfortable with their families, didn't feel safe with their families, or didn't have anywhere to go to come to that server. And we hung out all day and we talked all day. And it was really, really cool. So that's kind of what I'm up to. But thank you, and thanks for having me.
I'm happy to have you. I'm happy to have anyone who's played Dark Souls on the stream. Then we can talk about Dark Souls.
Which I'm always about.
River Ransom says, the fact that every American knows someone who had to use GoFundMe to pay for medical bills should be enough to wake people up. And people... So... Something that I do in the real world, well, we say the real world, something that I do outside is I do a lot of like actual activism. Like when I go to these rallies to go and film them, which is something I do, that's something that I'm typically asked to do. I don't just show up with a camera. And what I'm seeing more and more often, what I've been seeing for a while, is that people are aware of those things. People are aware of how the system is taking advantage of them. And most people have been for a while. Like a lot of people I knew who talked to Trump, who voted for Trump specifically because they expected him to shake the system up, to break the status quo, because the status quo was killing them. That's not what ended up happening, but if you're desperate and the only news that you get is from mainstream news sources, you got to kind of put yourself in that mindset. Like you have basic status quo candidates like your Hillary Clinton and your Jeb Bush, and then you have this other guy who comes in like a stampeding bull. It creates a certain impression.
It's horrifying.
It is. The only thing Trump was ever good at is convincing people that he was good at anything.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
I don't like that quote.
No?
I think the better quote is the greatest trick the devil ever pulled is convincing people that he mattered.
Oh.
Yeah, the devil, in a Jungian sense, represents the shadow self. And the thing about the darkness is that the darkness can only stare back at you. Darkness can't really hurt you. The darkness can only convince you to hurt yourself.
That's very Nietzsche.
No, Nietzsche believed in the opposite of that. But at least my understanding is that he believed in the opposite of that.
Didn't he say those who fight monsters should take care lest they become one, and don't gaze into the abyss, for the longer you gaze, so too does the abyss gaze back? But I guess that's not the same thing.
Yeah, that's the quote that people. I think that's from. What was that from? Does anyone in chat know what that quote is from? When you gaze into the abyss gazes also, and he who fights monsters would do well not to become a monster himself, or something like that. Well, that's the thing. I don't believe in monsters. I don't believe that it's useful to think of people as monsters. In fact, I think it belittles humanity to think of them as monsters. I think it belittles humanity to think of their worst people as monsters. I talked about this in one of my favorite videos that I made, the video that I made about the new understanding of fascism a while back. That's what I said. Hitler was a human being. He was born, he lived, and he died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He wasn't some aberration. He was the result of a series of things that happened. Like, it wasn't... I have not played Undertale, but I do have a Let's Play of Undertale. Somehow. Don't ask me how. I don't get it either.
I will return in just a moment.
Okie dokie. And I will turn the game back on in just a moment. There we go. Vague Hope says the subjugation and indoctrination of youth is like the second most favorite thing statists like to do to children. The first, of course, is abuse. And then also a bunch of stuff about become a monster, embrace the void, what is an angel but a monster. It is through our alienation, not despite it, that we can understand our subjugation and to the ideal of the norm. Yeah, that's something else that I've kind of said, is that the people who are being oppressed understand the nature of their oppression better than anyone else. Because they don't have any illusions about it. And that's why you need to listen to oppressed people when they say things, generally speaking, because they know what they're talking about. River Ransom says the spectacle contains the seeds of its own destruction. And, I'm not sure. You know, that's the thing. Like, Marx said that capitalism would destroy itself, and it kind of did through fascism, but then it came back. I think ultimately the whole thing is much more complex than that. Anyway, I'm going to go back to playing the game. Let's see if there's anything worth leveling up. Actually, no. First, let's see how much... Wrong window. I need to level up my strength to use this winged spear appropriately. I need 13 strength. I have 10. And there we go.
All right, I return.
And now I can use this one-handed.
Boom.
I had like 4 levels worth of souls there. I don't think it's just that capitalism is adaptable. I mean, the thing is that people are adaptable. I think part of what it is that after the 2 world wars, people decided that okay, so after the First World War, people decided that liberalism was the cause of the conflict, and they were looking for alternatives to that, right? But then after the Second World War, they decided that the alternatives were crap and that they didn't want them. So they went back to capitalism and liberalism. Come on. Come on. There we go. Ah. Missed it. There we go.
You're right about Marx. The very idea of marketing must have been horrifying. I think it's H Bomber Guy has a great video when everyone was complaining about woke brands. That really sums a lot of that up.
I remember that. Yeah, it's a shame how everyone on Left 2 got cancelled.
What's
that? Yeah, H Farmer Guy got cancelled for having an advertiser, if I recall correctly. People said that wasn't. It was shockingly offensive to them. How
So
dare the person on YouTube have an advertiser? Yeah.
Who was this advertiser?
Curiosity Stream, if I recall correctly.
Oh, yeah. That's so weird to me. You still have to function under the system with which you live.
Absolutely. if your only alternative is to work under the system or to die, then of course, in my experience, it's usually like, how do I say this without sounding condescending? It's usually baby leftists who get upset about that. Like people really early in their development as and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with not having a lot of experience. Everyone starts somewhere, but
well, you know what? I'm not gonna bring up the cursed word. But there was a certain somebody that I thought had a pretty good poignant video on sort of that.
oh, I have a video that I've been working on since November about cancel culture. Oh wait, that's right. There's a Black Knight down here that I never got around to killing. I can do that now because I'm using a controller. And I have a good weapon. Haha! Take that!
I always wondered at what moment would you come at him from the other way?
I am not entirely sure. That's a good question. I have more reach. Wow. Ooh. That was a bad dodge. I apologize. So River Ransom says that W.E.B. Du Bois did some great analysis of slavery via Marx, who also wrote in a letter that U.S. cotton was the foundation of all value in the global economy. The U.S. has always been a rogue state. No comment there. Just, I agree. W.E.B. Du Bois was good people. So, what do you think of Adnan? Since we're playing the Dark Souls, what do you think about Dark Souls? Do you have any thoughts about like what the undead are all doing here? What these follows are all doing? Do they have hopes and dreams that I'm repeatedly crushing?
I was always under the impression that they were sort of need-driven husks. So they wear their armor, they wield their weapons, but as a means to an end rather than anything symbolic. So their need for souls, through any means necessary, versus having anything to actually protect. And I think you see a lot of that in the ambushing. If you notice, a lot of the ambushing undead are not well equipped or well armored. They're probably what were peasants.
That is a cunning observation, and I am jealous.
And if you also notice, anyone protecting anything of value, it tends to be, you could say, of a higher class order or a soldier. But I don't know, I don't know what the ding dong diggity, all the souls politics is about in terms of the world. But that's just a small observation that I've always thought was kind of poignant and clever, whether they did it on purpose or not.
So I have a hot take about what the Souls series is about. It is ultimately about society versus nature.
Okay.
In that the two endings in the thing, the two endings that you have, the first one where you light the fire is you choosing to enable a society to function. And the second one, where you let the dark take over, You are letting nature take over. Like, explicitly, nature was supposed to. Gwyn subverted nature.
So all of the forces behind it would be the equalizers, the ones to set into motion, but not to. Oh,
Oof, indeed. Oh, that should have been a backstab. I'm not normally this bad at this game.
that's all right. We're all talking.
But yeah, so the critical thing to understand is that one, there was supposed to be a course of nature. Like, even though Kath, who is the most evil character in Dark Souls, tells you this, like, subsequent games confirm this. There was supposed to be a course of nature, and Gwyn subverted it.
I guess I never really picked up on it in that way.
Humankind was supposed to be in control after the gods. But the gods were powerful enough to subvert that course of nature.
Okay.
I am really concentrating on the game. Okay,
Sorry?
so what you need to understand about the primeval serpents is that they are hollows.
Huh.
More than anything else, they're hollows. And, like, I can't confirm that via lore, but it's an idea that I have based on stuff that happens in Bloodborne. Like, if you track the stuff that happens in Bloodborne onto, like, the model of Dark Souls, it explains a lot of things. Like, so first off, you can assume pretty safely that after you link the fire, you don't automatically turn into a piece of bacon or something. You stay around for a while and then you're able to do things. This is sort of implied in the text, in that Gwyn was able to give commands, or was able to talk to people after he linked the fire. Also in Bloodborne, the undead curse also in Bloodborne, having the beast blood also enabled you, and a certain amount of insight allowed you to become one of the great ones. So a human hypothetically could become a primeval serpent. I am supposing. And you kind of see that in Dark Souls 3, when humanity runs wild. You have those, what are they called? You know the things that I'm talking about, like how Gunvir, like, the darkness explodes out of his body.
Yeah.
Those things. Those are people turning into man-serpents. Not man-serpents. Serpents. Primeval serpents.
I'll never forget when I got the game and that first happened. And I was just like, oh my God. Here we are. That's an interesting observation, though. I mean, I never would have picked that up myself. It kind of puts a lot of it into perspective. My hands are shaking just watching this.
I apologize. Almost got him. Ah! Damn it.
Why is this talk of serpents
The pus of man.
Jordan Peterson?
Something chaos dragons. Something lobsters. You know, I wrote a very elaborate Jordan B. Peterson Zizek fan fiction.
Oh my.
Yes. What happened is someone tried to talk about their debate, and I said, I don't care about their debate because Jordan B. Peterson is not respectable enough for me to care about him talking to anyone. And then I said, I'm just going to make up something that happened because it would amuse me. And then I made up this story about how Jordan B. Peterson thinks that lobsters are the dominant species on Earth and how they're all going to rise up from the ocean and kill us all. You know, one of these streams, I may grab that fan fiction and read it. It's only like 300 words. But it's very elaborate.
I have really strange feelings about Zizek. I never know how to feel because at one end he'll say something that I'm like, hell yeah. And then he'll say something where I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, buddy.
That is a little problematic.
And you do the nose wipe. So this is my favorite story. When the man he commits the violence, and then you have the violence. That's the best I got.
I mean, I'm not going to tell you that that's the most pathetic Zizek impression that I've ever heard in my life, or any other lifetime that I have had before or will have in the future. But I will not stop my audience from telling you that.
You know what? I took a chance.
You took a chance. I respect that. It did not pay off. I'm sorry. I respect you too much to lie to you.
It's all right.
A vague hope. My opinion is that anyone who says communism good has some good points, more or less. Because of the blighted capitalist hellscape that we live in. Alright, I'm going to try and kill this thing again. Hope it works.
Forget what he was saying about... Oh. He was ready for that one.
Oh, another thing. So, I am to understand that all of the knights, the Black Knights, well, not the Silver Knights, because the Silver Knights are illusions, but all of the Black Knights are minor gods.
There you go. Alana Montero says, Zizek reminds me a little of my dad, which is weird. I imagine that would be weird.
Ah, damn it.
And they just so smugly walk away.
Well, I mean, at that point, the knight deserves to be smug. I'm not going to assume that the knight is a man because Like when you wear the Black Knight armor, the Black Knight armor for men and women is literally identical. Which I thought was a neat little touch.
Is there one? Are there ones that are canonically female or male? Or are they just what they are?
I'm sure that there are some that are female, but canonically, it's just a walking suit of armor with
Right.
ash powered by ashes because they were all burned to death when well, not to death, but they were all incinerated when Gwen lit the fire.
One of my buddies gave me one of the best tips for this game that I'd ever heard, and for like killing people through walls and stuff. And I never did it because I was like, "How do I know they're dead?" And he's like, "You got to wait for the sound, man." And I was like, "Oh yeah."
Yep. What I'm going to do, I'm going to firebomb that night.
I love it.
No, it's a terrible idea. They have very high resistance to fire, but it will be amusing.
Doesn't the black firebomb hurt him quite a bit?
Do I have black firebombs?
I don't know, but for some reason I remember doing it with a black firebomb, and I mean, it didn't do a ton, but it did some.
More women Black Knight.
I was just about to read that off with the claps. I'm about it.
Do it. Do it. Oh, my menu was still up. Fact. Is that... Why don't all of you die? That's a rhetorical question you didn't need to answer.
Here we go.
Ah.
Oh.
What do you think Estus tastes like?
Have you ever had a cavity?
No.
So when you have a cavity, and you've had it for a while, your mouth tastes kind of metallic-y. Not particularly gross or anything, but just metally and weird. It's like drinking pennies.
I don't think Estus has a taste because it's literally liquid fire.
You staggered him for a second.
Let's hope I can do it this time. Let's top with the shield. Gotcha.
Like gummy bears, River Ransom says. That would be great. As long as it's not those diet Haribo ones that give you horrendous diarrhea. I don't know. Maybe Estus gives you the runs.
Well, I mean, no. Canonically, the Estus is literally the fire that's from the bonfire.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's got a lot of sugar. I don't know. High in sodium content.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to level up a couple of times because I'm sure I've got enough souls now to in that pile to level up a couple of times.
Yeah, Revo, I got the diet ones one time. Just I misgrabbed the bag. And because I'm exactly who I am, I ate the whole bag in one sitting. Um, and I don't I I don't like to say the runs because it implies, you know, well, I'm not going to go into great detail, but I didn't get off the toilet the next day. I probably went to the bathroom like 7 times.
Ah, crap.
There's a guy.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay.
Alright, I'm going to kill these 3 things, and I'm going to switch over to Discord for a second. No. That from stream for a minute. Okay, that's not what I thought it was. Oh well.
And in fact, now that I think about it, I have. So when I was like 7, well, I was probably 5 or 6. I was watching Darkwing Duck, and I got this idea in my head that that I couldn't shit myself. I don't know why I thought this. I just at some point in my dumb kid brain was like, yeah, you can't do that on purpose. Like, because every time it's ever happened to me has been an accident. So it follows that it's not a voluntary thing. So the long and the short of it is, you can. And I was only betting with myself. I could have walked away, but there was something in my dumb kid head that was like, we're gonna do it. So I load up my pants and I immediately start crying. My mom rushes in the room and she goes, "What the hell's wrong?" And she smells it and she goes, "What did you do?" And I'm crying and I'm screaming. I was like, "I didn't think I could poop myself, but I can." And my mom, because she's who my mother was like, "What? So you're the only fucking 6-year-old that can spell neighbor, but you think you can't shit your pants?" So that was me telling entirely too much about myself. How are you guys?
I am very busy.
I can see this whole section that you're doing, it would take me probably 20 minutes. Like, just to get to where you were dying at the Black Knight would probably take me about 20 minutes.
If you say so. Why? Would you just be foisting your shield around the whole time?
Oh yeah, I'm a shield player.
Disavow. I disavow.
I don't like dodging.
It's been good having you on the. It was, you know, I don't want us to be enemies, but if you're going to use that kind of language, I'm not sure we can be friends. I'm not sure that we can be like co-workers. I'm not sure that we can be in the same spaces.
To be fair, once I got to Dark Souls 2, it got a lot better. But I know. Shield do hits.
No, the shield's useful, but like I never just because I got the claymore really early and I realized, oh hey, I can kill everything in the game with this running attack.
Oh yeah.
Just because I got the claymore really early, I never used a shield. Oh, you jerk.
It was before you kind of learn the rules of the road. It's mind-numbingly difficult.
Ah, crap! I was going to go level up, wasn't I?
Yeah.
We're too far in to turn back now. The die is cast. Come and get me. Come on. Oh, he's playing like you, Adnan.
Yeah, there we go. That's my signature strategy. I walk a little. Yeah, that's more like me. I walk a little fast.
And it works, evidently. I swear, am I just going to spend this entire time trying to... This is not the plan that I had for the stream. I didn't want to spend 2 hours trying to kill this Black Knight.
What's behind him?
If I recall correctly, the blue tearstone ring. But I want to kill him for his souls, not...
Right.
You know, that's another thing. Do you think each soul that you collect corresponds to a person's life?
I don't necessarily know. Just for the sheer number of them that you get in the game, if you're going 1-for-1, it's entirely too many people for where you're at. And that's assuming that, but that is assuming that this is the only area or country or continent or whatever that this has befallen, which I believe in the lore is patently false. You're making me so nervous not estusing.
Fine, I don't want to make... Well, you're just nervous because you use a shield.
That's it, yes!
It engenders passivity. You have become passive and engendered.
I'll replay this and I'll try it. I'll try it everyone else's way.
You need to do a broken straight sword run. That's how you get good at Dark Souls.
Oh my god.
What you do is you take a broken sword and you deplete its durability. And that's the only weapon that you're allowed to use.
Does it still do any damage at that point?
To some enemies. Not all enemies, but some.
Oh, see, there you go. River Ransom says Mark said that accumulated capital was the stored value of undead labor.
That's almost funny. No, you told me you had some contentious opinions about Dark Souls. That's why I brought you on the stream. The part where I asked you if you'd ever played Dark Souls was for your benefit, not mine. It was for the stream's benefit, not for mine.
Oh, yeah. I just,
Is Dark Souls superior to or inferior to the Kingsfield series?
vastly superior. Kingsfield is, well, interesting.
You heathen fucker. This Black Knight is quickly becoming my mortal enemy. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go to Andre. I'm going to level up my spear. I think I have enough Titanite to level it up at least once. And I'm going to kill the fuck out of it with my improved spear. And also kill the fuck out of everything else in the game.
There you go.
Because the wing spear is an incredible weapon. I'm gonna level my dex up to 30. Get my endurance and vitality up a bit. And then we'll be set.
There we go. I've always viewed the Souls series as kind of like both an advocation for and a cautionary tale of stark individuality. Because nobody is working together. And actually, your point about Solaire fits right into that. But, none of these undead are working together. In fact, they only turn to each other both to fight you when both of them would be threatened. And that's obviously a game mechanic and not some sort of stylistic choice, or maybe it is, but it kind of, ticks that box. And yes, unjust authority, vague yes, is absolutely.
Okay, so I have a counterpoint.
Okay.
Did you ever play the Artorias the Abyss Walker DLC?
I don't think so, no.
Well, that explains a lot about the Dark and how the Dark works. Also, it explains that Koth is the most evil fucker in the game. So, Koth not only created the Dark Wraiths, right? Which were such a threat that they had to be sealed underneath Anne Orlando at the cost of literally not even thousands, tens of thousands. You see tens of thousands of corpses in New Londo. When you drain the ruins.
Okay.
But you also, there are other... I played myself. There's... In the Artorias the Abyss Walker DLC, you go to a place called Ulasil. And Koth, well, one of the primeval serpents, but it's assumed to be Koth because, like, you saw what Koth did to Anne Orlando. Or, not Anne Orlando. New Londo. You see what happened, and you see that, oh, he did it again. He turned Ulasil into a place where the Dark was attacking everything. And he almost completely... He created a situation that almost completely annihilated the people of Ulasil. Unfortunately, for the people of Ulasil, they were very hardy and were able to survive Koth's manipulations. And that is unfortunate for them, because they became something less than human.
I need to get that. I haven't played any of the DLCs, I think, for any of the Dark Souls games.
If you get the remastered version, the Artorias the Abyss Walker comes with it.
I have the original game, but I don't wonder if just getting the remastered version is better.
Yeah, I mean, if you have it on the PC, then yeah. But if you just have it on the PS3, then I got the remastered version for the PC.
Hey, what's up, Max? Max. Hi, Gail.
Are there more people?
There is. Somebody just popped in.
Maximilian Gale.
Oh, God.
That's how I'm used to pronounce it. Maximilian Gale. I am, in fact, not a gamer. We decided this because I have never played Minecraft. That means I am not a gamer.
0 points.
Okay, so there's a trick you can do. where you run through everything and go through the gate. But you only get one chance to do it. I'm gonna go for it.
Oh, buddy. Oh my god.
It worked! Barely. Haha! Strats. I don't even know what strats are, but strats.
Oh.
Ah, crap, I just killed his friend, didn't I?
I always thought the screams in this game sounded a little too pleasurable. Like somebody rends you with a massive sword near you guys, like, oh, oh.
Really? I always thought that they sounded defeated.
Maybe that's a better word.
Come on, hit me with your spear. I don't think he's going to attack. I can go see him there.
Oh.
And you're dead.
Boom.
Bye-bye.
I always loved this little area here.
Yeah.
And then isn't there that bull demon in the room after? Or not bull, whatever the hell it is.
Titanite demon, yeah.
Yeah. You'd think Andre would take care of it.
I think Andre is keeping it from coming into the chapel. It and Andre have an agreement.
Interesting.
I'm a good old man, but I can still take your ass. Because you've got to get through that tiny door. My bulging shoulders can't fit through that door. And your hefty body, your halo thing that you have, can't fit through that door. You can observe the halo thing on his back.
They always freaked me out. A pretty awesome design on those guys.
Agreed.
Well, you must be a new arrival.
You don't know that.
Andre of a store.
That's racist.
If it requires smithing, then speak to me.
Hey, Mr. Red, what's up?
Is there someone else here?
Mm-hmm.
I must... Huh. I don't see them. That's ominous.
Is there Dark Souls Born?
No. They're making a game called Elden Ring.
Oh, there is. I don't know why I didn't think. Oh, of course, it's called Dark Holes. Oh, Jesus. Okay. All right. Well, I did that to myself.
And you have only yourself to blame. Hurrah is the gesture that Andre uses to scare off the Titanite demon.
Hurrah!
Don't get yourself killed. Neither of us want to see you go hollow.
Oh, Mr. Red's here. Hello, Mr. Red. I'm playing Dark Souls.
Also, what's it take to not be hollow?
So I think that the question is wrong.
Okay.
So that goes back to what I said about the two endings being about society versus nature.
Okay.
So linking the fire enables society to continue functioning. Right?
Okay.
That's why the gods want you to link the fire, and that's why that's why the gods want you to link the fire, because they run society and it's good for them. And embracing the dark means letting nature take its course.
So why does Andre get to not be a dead guy? Ooh,
The
nice.
thing is, everyone is a hollow. Being hollow just means that you've become... The undead curse is being linked to the first fire.
Mm.
And humanity was linked to the first fire long before... Again, in the Atorius, the Abysswalker DLC, that canonically happens before the first fire is linked. And there is still bonfires, and there is still undead. So, when you're hollow, that just means that you have reverted to the natural state that all things in the world are meant to be.
Okay. So the hollow are the undead guys that you're killing now.
Yes.
Or okay. And so they are the natural way of things.
Yes.
As to where you are actually the aberrant.
Yes. This is literally the deepest lore. In that they mention it right up in the beginning. Everything came from the dark, and everything will eventually return to the dark. Are you still there?
Yeah, I guess he decided to...
Netflix and chill.
Yeah. I guess staring through a portcullis is what that is in this world.
Of course. What else do you think that I was implying? Watching the hollows squirm through this portcullis is quality entertainment.
And like, what about that thing? Like, what the hell is that thing?
This is a boar with a lot of armor.
That as it turns out, is a complete ass.
Ha ha ha. I wonder if replenishing attack will work. Oh, it does! Ha ha! Oh, and it one-shotted it.
There you go. Oh,
And now I can wear its head. I'm going to do that because it amuses me. And it's going to turn my roll into crap. See? Crap roll.
you got a nice hat out of it.
No, I'm not going to do that.
You're supposed to
That would be
unequip your
absurd.
pants first. Pantsless run.
No. The universe, yet nay, the multiverse, is not ready for this yet. So I have 2 Black Knights that I have to. Well, 3 Black Knights if you count the other one. So I'm going to do that.
Need to go back and get him this time.
Yes.
I love
Yes, that's what I said.
I'm confirming that I'm listening.
But are you confirming enough?
Well, by your standard, as I understand it, yes. Oh, fuck that.
Killed by rats. My mortal enemy.
The worst.
I hope that boar doesn't respawn.
I forgot there's no warp system in this game.
Oh, there is. You just have to unlock it.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. But it's really complex to unlock. The first thing you have to do is... The first thing you have to do is kill Ornstein and Smo, right?
Okay.
Then you have to do a side quest to get the Lord Vessel from Guinevere. Then you have to find this secret area that's linked to the Kiln of the First Flame, but isn't the Kiln of the First Flame. It's really wonky. There's a hole you have to fall down. So you do all that, and you use the Lord Vessel to unlock bonfire warping.
Wow, I had no idea. I like when you catch them in the animation just as they turn. I always hated those guys.
You know, these are actually all tragic figures. Balder Knights were, at one point, heroic, cool dudes. Nope. Nope. I'm going to nope the fuck right out of here. Are you still following me?
He dropped down with you.
I have range on you, you fool.
He loves you.
No, he wants to gouge my eyes out.
That's the same.
No, it isn't. That's literally the opposite of love.
I think maybe I have a warped sense of it then.
I mean, I didn't want to. I didn't want to say it out loud, but your mother did traumatize. Your mother did, by your own accounts, deliberately traumatize you.
Yeah, she was real good at that too. I mean, by the end of it, I didn't even see it coming half the time.
Oh, I killed both of them. Nice.
Run them both through.
I tried to let him go. He wouldn't. He wouldn't leave.
There you go. Get him.
And now for the greatest. And now to fight the greatest of all enemies. The rats. My mortal enemies.
Oh. And I hate how you run over the corpses. You keep swinging because you're not sure if you killed them or not.
No, I think that genuinely pisses me off a little bit.
It looks. I would be.
Should have your semesters. I can't go through the church because of that night. No, I don't need to deal with this crap. Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Yeah, what? I wonder how far they'll follow you. That far.
We're almost there.
Ba, 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 ba.
And that's something that I like saying is that Dark Souls is like 2/3 of one of the best designed games of all time, and 1/3 mishandled schlock.
Yeah, I definitely believe that.
But like, it's so good that even the mishandled schlock is great.
It's almost like what's that phrase? Wabi sabi. It's almost better because of its flaws.
It's kind of like, what?
The term wabi sabi. I'll look it up because I don't want to do it an injustice.
I've heard that before.
In traditional Japanese aesthetics, it's a worldview centered on the acceptance of transience and imperfection. The aesthetic is sometimes described as one of beauty that is imperfect, impermanent, and incomplete.
That sounds nice. That's very zen. I like that.
And yes, Nier is fantastic. Vague Hope.
I have never played Nier Automata.
Is
But
good.
So, Jim Sterling said that it was one of the best pieces of media ever, so far as I'm concerned. And I know that Jim Sterling is canceled.
Why
for,
is he canceled?
That's something about getting a sponsorship from Bad Dragon.
I don't understand why that's. Oh my god.
I'm joking. I was joking about the H-bomb thing too.
Oh, I don't know. I don't fucking know. I just watch the videos. I don't engage in a lot of the surrounding controversies. Well, see, now I just feel tricked.
I am quite a cunning and duplicitous person in real life. I make no
trusted
apologies.
you.
You should not have trusted me.
I trusted you to guide me.
I told you I told you that this was going to be a hitless, Estisless run. I promised you that in the beginning, and almost immediately I used an Estus flask. You should not have trusted me.
Well,
that was your mistake, not mine.
I guess now we know. And you know what? I'm going to start it now. I'm going to cancel H-Bomber Guy.
You should. He deserves it. Where's that movie about Night in the Woods?
Ooh.
Decisive. One more stab. 2 more stabs.
There you go.
And thus my mortal enemy is defeated.
There we go.
I can end this game satisfied. I don't have to play any more Dark Souls. That's it. That's all the Dark Souls I ever have to play. Yeah, I did it. I beat Dark Souls.
All right. Thanks for stopping by, everybody.
We're going to discuss whether or not not discuss. We're going to plot how to cancel major bread soup people. So I think the major Red 2 personality I'm most interested in canceling is Bo from the fifth column because he's so wholesome.
You'd almost have to make up something insidious. But like insidious in a wholesome way?
I'm good at making up things. I am exceptionally gifted at making things up.
Like stealing from homeless children to give to different homeless children? In front of the ones that you stole from?
I was going to say, like, maybe we can say that Bo of the fifth column used to work in intelligence or something.
Oh no, vague hope. I think we're speaking strictly in joking hypotheticals.
Yes, to be absolutely clear, I'm joking. Except no, Bo of the fifth column, actually, I'm to understand, did work in intelligence. Like, you don't get as knowledgeable as he is out of nowhere. And you know what? Like, I don't... Good on him. Like, I'm glad that someone with that experience is one of the good guys. You know who I do want to talk about, though? Big Joel. The universe's most notorious internet criminal.
Internet criminal, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to need a little backstory on this.
Okay, so, like, Big Joel. Nobody is sure when Big Joel was born. Like, the most accurate estimates that people have are, like, in the 1670s.
Okay.
But, yeah, he's been around a while. And he's been carving a path of destruction through the entire planet for quite some time.
Well, it's right there in the name, Big Joel.
Exactly. So it was hypothesized for a while that Big Joel was the first person to discover America.
Oh.
And what happened is Big Joel killed anyone who discovered America. Just to make sure that he was the person who, quote-unquote, discovered it. But then Columbus and his pals came over, and evidently Big Joel had a talk with Columbus about what his goals were, and, you know, Big Joel was like, oh, I sure do love that imperialism. That's something I can get behind.
Oh, Big Joel.
Fun fact, Big Joel killed Tupac.
You know, I actually did know that.
Yeah, I thought that was common knowledge. He said that Tupac got in his way. Big Joel, it was confirmed that Big Joel was Jack the Ripper.
No shit.
Yeah. He did the thing in order to preserve the integrity of the church in some capacity.
Big establishment guy he is.
Well, of course. He considers Disney, the modern Disney, to be a failure, and Pixar to be the real Disney.
Not not winning hearts and minds with that one.
Or not Pixar, DreamWorks to be the real Disney. Because Michael Eisenberg is the real heir to Walt Disney's legacy of being petty and spiteful.
Wasn't Big Joel Walt Disney?
No, Big Joel was not. That's a rumor. Actually, Big Joel killed Walt Disney.
Oh, see, I got it twisted. It's hard to keep track of him.
Well, I mean, you could say that he killed. Big Joel introduced Walt Disney to the idea of cigarettes.
Oh.
And, it was the cigarettes that killed him. Also, Big Joel shooting him 6 times.
The bullets helped.
But really, it was the cigarettes.
In fact, Walt Disney lived with those bullet holes for 30 years.
He did.
And he smoked out of 2 of them.
He did, so you knew that.
I guess I did. I get my Big Joel Disney lore mixed up sometimes.
Fun fact that not a lot of people know about Big Joel and Disney and their relationship. Big Joel produced the Song of the South.
Oh.
He said he wanted to portray racism in a positive light.
I think H Bomber Guy would be the guy that would steal from the homeless to give to the homeless.
I steal from homeless people to give to more homeless people. This is how you fight authoritarianism. By stealing from homeless people.
This is the except for the part that it isn't very nice at all. River Ransom, I think it's like a Santa Claus situation. Explain.
Do you mean like the movie Santa Claus, where the person who kills Big Joel takes on the mantle of Big Joel?
The one with Tim Allen.
Yes. Yes, that Santa Claus movie.
Well, you needed.
There actually was a point, I think, in the mid-'90s during Home Improvements filming and when Tim Allen was in all those movies that he was so high on cocaine, he suffered from disassociation and thought he was Big Joel for a period of time. And because Big Joel was in his 12-year slumber,
Neither of us see you.
Nobody was the wiser.
But that doesn't track, though, because the Santa Claus came out the same year that Big Joel killed Tupac.
But then how do you explain Jungle 2 Jungle?
Just regular cocaine.
Regular cocaine.
Those are the words that I used in the order that I used them.
It's a funny true story. I can't reveal too many details without giving away a lot of personal information. But basically, I'm from Michigan. That much I will reveal. So Tim Allen is from the Detroit area, and at a certain place he's at all the time, and the dude is a complete asshole. I mean, we knew that, but he can't stop swearing. Like every sentence that he says, no matter how small, has several I'm not a Puritan, but out in polite company, You're just like, what the hell? In fact, I think at one point it was understood that at McDonald's, I can't even say this without laughing. At McDonald's, he asked if he could have titty milk, cow titty milk, or I'm sorry, cow titty juice instead of a pop.
What a contentious man.
People have opinions. That, I mean, he's a raging racist, but, you know.
Of course he's a raging racist. Have you ever seen Jungle to Jungle?
I mean, that entire movie.
You know what I'm going to do for fun? I'm going to put a spear on my back.
I thought you were going to make fun of me and say, I'm going to use a shield.
No, I'm going to have a... but it makes my rolls suck. When I get more endurance. So there's another Black Knight up here that I have to kill, because it is my mortal enemy.
So close together to the other one?
Yeah. Up here. Did you not know about it?
Oh. I haven't played the original Dark Souls in like a number of years, so.
This one has an axe.
Oh.
If I recall correctly. Nope. This one has a great sword. Well, I mean, when I say great sword, I mean great sword for like an 8-foot tall person. Will it come down here? I think it will.
What you gotta do is have not killed the bull demon, and then brought him down here, and then had the bull demon run him over, and then use your Big Joel summoning pendant.
I would not summon Big Joel. Big Joel would only make things worse.
Benevolent malice.
Also, did you know that Big Joel exclusively refers to the Queen as Miss Queen Lady?
I'll bet she has some thoughts on that, seeing as how they were married for a time.
Well, I mean, in fairness, their divorce was his idea. So I guess he doesn't come down here.
You just flung that guy off of the... He caught on your leg and you just... wrestling flipped him off the bridge.
I guess he does. Neato. We see here the Black Knight doing the classic odd and on.
Yep. The slowly pacing forward. Holding up your shield. Mitigating all the damage. Oof.
I just couldn't get a good angle on that guy. This one is significantly better than the other one at being a Black Knight.
His profession.
He's a professional. Yes.
I didn't see a briefcase.
Oh, his sword doubles as a briefcase.
Oh, that's where he keeps all his documents.
Yes, it just clicks right open.
His documents, his notary stamp.
Yeah. You know, a sandwich, a spare change of clothes if he needs it. Not armor. He only has the same set of armor, but he has a spare set of clothes in there.
It probably has more pockets than girl pants. Damn. Girl pants have no pockets.
Yeah. I personally feel that that's shameful. Women deserve pockets. Women deserve pockets. Hashtag feminism.
You could. I swear to God, you could get that trending right now. People are rightfully pissed. I have 3 pockets to my fiance's 2.
Why are people... Oh, is that really a thing that's happening?
No, that's been a thing forever. Women's clothing, is just not made to hold anything.
Well, I mean, there's a historic reason for that. During the first wave feminism, women used to hide zines in their pockets and distribute them. And it was decided by men that the best way to counter this was to not let women have pockets.
I don't know if you're kidding or not. Because I'm pretty sure they haven't had pockets since before zines.
I mean, zines have existed for centuries. Zines have existed since as long... You know what a zine is, right? It's just like a pamphlet.
Yeah.
Zines have existed since almost forever. As long as there's been paper, there have been zines.
They probably called them zines back then, too. I'm going to a zine convention with the comic. I don't know what that'll be like. I'm going to see if I can pick up any good leftist stuff because I feel like that'd be the place to do it. And I believe the gallery is sponsored by a big local Detroit 1312 group.
Nice.
But yeah, pockets for women. You know, I'm going to run. I've decided I'm going to run. That will be my only platform. And we'll see what the people really care about.
And you will be sorely disappointed.
I don't know, Ron. I think I got it.
Not
Kind
because
of
they're wrong, but because anyone who ever runs for office is always sorely disappointed. It is a law of the universe.
And most politicians are bought out by the pocket industrial complex. Big pocket.
Big pocket, the most insidious of all industries.
Honestly. I one time met Mr. Pocket, and he was a dick.
You've met Big Joel?
and we're
you
back.
Survived?
Only because I had more pockets that day than he was willing to deal with.
I mean, I'm a pretty hardy guy. I'm fearless in the face of most danger, but if I even saw Big Joel from out of a telescope, I think I would piss myself. Big Joel is the most terrifying being in, well, at least this universe.
I might piss myself. I could do it on purpose, you know.
You know, H.P. Lovecraft based Cthulhu off of his impression of Big Joel.
Oh, the unseeable, the unspeakable. I could see that.
I think I've got him. And now watch me blunder into a failure. Grasp feet
I was
from
going to
the
say, ask
dark
this up.
mystery. One more hit. Artful dodge. Haha! More artful dodging. Not today, friend.
There
Oh,
we
God.
go.
I just killed my best friend in this game. What have I done?
Well, I think handbags are a poor substitute for pockets. And in my campaign, I will be advocating for more pockets for women. There should never be a lack of pockets in women's clothing, ever.
So, if you're fighting the pocket industry, that means that you're going to be fighting Big Joel directly.
Inevitably.
Can you do it? Do you have enough firepower on your side?
Are you asking me, am I a bad enough dude?
I suppose you could infer that is a question that I'm asking.
I don't question my ability. I question my work ethic.
I think that's fair.
Because pockets aren't very strong. I feel like you could tear them off most clothing. You get a good handle on them. In fact, they say that's a good strategy in a fight, is to grab somebody by the pockets and tear them, because then it's going to tear their pants, and now they're naked fighting, and that's not great for them.
I mean, that's not even what I'm talking about. Big Joel is personally murdered literally thousands of people. He knows the secret of eternal life via the lungectomy, wherein he removes his lungs and replaces them with someone else's lungs. The reason he wears those big sweaters is to hide the fact that his chest opens up like a hatch.
Oh. Wow. Okay.
Did you not know that?
No, I remember you saying something about it the other night, but not in reference to Big Joel. And now I'm shook.
Yeah.
Well, vague hope. I don't want it to be uncomfortable. These are hard truths.
You know, Big Joel killed Bill Hicks because Bill Hicks got too close to the truth.
Oh man, I was watching Bill Hicks the other day. Why don't they bring back cargo pants in a big way? I loved cargo pants and cargo shorts. Put my Game Boy in them. Handful of games in the other pocket.
When I go out, I have a shit ton of pockets. Like, my vest has 6 pockets, 6 huge pockets.
Mm.
In fact, something I frequently say when I'm buying groceries and they ask me if I need a bag is, no, I have big pockets. And then I proceed to put whatever it is that I got out of the store in one of my pockets.
Like
That's not a
gallon
joke.
milk.
That's something I actually do.
Huh.
Yeah, there's a wizard up there. Forgot about that.
Genco jeans. I even liked the dumb logo they had. And they were pretty well made.
But were they pretty well made enough?
Well, I mean, certainly not, but in terms comparative to Tommy Hilfiger or Hugo Boss at the time. My mom used to buy me knockoff Tommy Hilfiger clothes from the back of a truck behind the flea market. And they were totally authentic.
That tracks.
I promise you, if I find any good zines at the Zine Con, I will
Hear them.
absolutely share them. With permission, of course, because some people like their art to be pure and in print form only distribution.
Okay, so here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm looking at the time here. I'm thinking that I'm going to kill the bell gargoyles, kill the fuck out of them, and then that'll be the stream.
I can stay along for that ride.
But can you stay along for the ride enough?
I think.
You know, now that we've mentioned Big Joel, that he's going to be after us.
And I gotta sleep at some point tonight, so.
I mean, in that case, odd non. For what it's worth, it was good knowing you.
You as well.
No, it wasn't. You don't have to lie to me.
I don't know. I had milk today. I might be able to gas him out of the room. When I get scared, I just release everything.
You know Team Fortress 2?
I do.
Team Fortress 2 is based on an incident where Big Joel massacred an entire town's worth of miners. Little known fact. Not a lot of people know about that.
About what?
The Great Jolening.
Oh.
It's called.
The Jolening.
Mm-hmm. That's what they call it. And if you're curious as to whether or not they were miners in the sense that they were young people, or miners in the sense that they worked in a mine, the answer is yes.
Miners.
Yes. I'm to understand what happened is that... Oh, you know what I should do? I should summon Solaire. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna see
Where
if
the heck is he?
Well, no, I have to be unhollow to summon.
Oh.
Ah, crap, I forgot that they were still there. Everyone should consider running for public office. River Ransom says everyone should consider running for public office. That is an interesting point of view. I have some experience with political campaigns, local level political campaigns, and I would say that's not the best idea in the world. Specifically because political institutions are so entrenched, and because everything is so dependent on moneyed interests. You can try and change that if you want, but it's going to be an uphill battle. Also, having a glut of candidates won't help as much as you think, because typically people will gravitate towards the candidate that they know of. And also, like, if you have people voting for, like, 30 different candidates, if the vote is split 30 different ways and the person who won only won by... If the person who won only got, like, 10% of the vote, that's going to cause problems down the line. Because that candidate is eventually going to be seen as illegitimate. And I know that because that's the strategy that the DNC has for countering that when that happens. Not the Republicans, that's the strategy that the Democrats have for countering that when that happens.
That is absolutely true.
Huh. I never knew this area was over here. Probably because there's nothing here. Let's move on. Let's summon Solaire.
Jolly cooperation.
I mean, you say jolly, but, like, murder-deathing things until they die is not anything I would define as jolly. Ah, that one got me. Artful dodge, I respect that.
Damn.
Oh, Rare got both of them. Holy goddamn. Good job, my dude. Alright, we're gonna ring this bell, and then that's going to be the end of the stream. So, Adnan, as long as you're here, is there anything that you wanna... Is there anything you want to plug?
Just my Twitter pretty well plugs everything that I have, so I'll just, I guess, drop that in the chat.
Feel free. I ain't gonna stop you.
I try to plug my stuff when it's exciting.
can't believe I struggled with those Black Knights for so long, and
Oh, I have to. Oh,
then I just killed the Bell Gargoyles like that. It is an absurdity.
you got him quick.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will try to do this again sometime. And take care of yourselves. All right?
I had a blast. Good night.